Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you a support build. It's been requested a lot. I finally put one together. I like to think that this is a little bit innovative. It's stacking some different mechanics. It's not going just straight for electronic skill power. It's able to unlock every single gun talent in the game. It's possible to, and it's a really fun, composite build overall. I enjoy it a great deal. I won't be playing it very often, and it is best used in a squad of 4. But, I will be showing it solo, and, I'll talk about all the different mechanics that revolve around it first. So first thing is 4-piece Tactician. Now, the new Tactician bonus for 4-piece, which is what most people are going to care about, is every bullet your group hits enemies with adds 0.2% skill power to you for a max of 30% bonus. Bonus disappears after 10 seconds of not being updated or after 10 seconds at full power. Now, what this means is kind of like a Spell Weaver class where you work up to a full bonus and you're using your skills during that peak efficiency period, and you're getting a huge bonus, which is nice. But the real main attraction that I think comes from this set is the 3-piece for 10% skill power just as a flat total all the time. I like that a lot. Now, it's great if you can work up to 30%, get that in addition to the 10%. You'll have tremendously high skill power from your TAC authority. However, it's not the main attraction. I think it's more, available and a better idea to rely on the base attributes and not really care too much about that 30%. It's a bonus. It's great if you have it, but it's not something you're going to really need. Now, the set piece for the 2-piece is 10% skill haste, which is really nice as well. However, it's not going to be critical because you're going to use some other mechanics for skill cooldowns. So now talking about the actual specific chest piece that I have, it's a stamina chest piece and it has firearms mods. Now, the firearms mods are actually very important with this composition because I'm checking off all the main stat requirements for every gun talent that I could possibly want to activate. I have over 4,000 firearms, I have 35 stamina, and I have 34 electronics, which is enough for me to activate pretty much anything that I want to. And with a little bit of tweaking, like one mod here or there, I could switch it around and activate every single gun talent in the game, which is awesome. And I think that that's really versatile. And instead of sacrificing all your firearms and having no DPS and then being slightly tanky with a ton of skill power, you can actually have, a fairly squishy build, but you could easily swap it around and have really high skill power with completely competitive DPS. And it's a really fun build. So I'm going for a few stamina pieces though. Just to clarify, I have 2 of them, then I have 1 firearms piece and then 2 electronics pieces. Moving on to my mask, I have a stamina mask with a good roll. It has some health on kill. That's not 100% necessary, but I think that it's something good to have. Damage to elites also works if you're going for a PvE composition. And then for minor attributes, I would prefer enemy armor damage because that's a hybrid stat point. It can work in the dark zone, it can work in, in the underground and things like that. Increased kill XP, I don't really need all that much. Moving on to my pads, they are really high roll firearms pads with a firearms mod, and then they have armor in the major attribute slot. Very important to roll armor here. It's extremely important to roll armor on your chest piece, on your backpack, on your pads, and on your holster. If you don't have it on even one of those pieces, it can hurt your toughness overall, and I actually don't have it on my backpack, but I'm opting for skill power there. Anyways, back to the pads. So I've rolled armor there. I have enemy armor damage as a minor attribute. That's really good to keep an eye out for. Kill XP doesn't really matter. Burn resistance is cool. And whatever, particular status effect that you hate the most, I'd go ahead and pick up resistance for that wherever possible. So moving on to my gloves, I have Tactician's Authority gloves with a very high electronics roll, health on kill, damage to elites, and SMG damage. This should be either assault rifle damage or marksman rifle damage for my build. However, I don't actually have gloves to have that. I haven't re-rolled these, so I could go to the base right now and re-roll them for a little bit more of a min-max. However, I am trying to theory craft this build around the average player, someone that, and even then, I probably have more gear than, most typical players that play 1 or 2 hours a night will have. However, you're not going to have every single attribute perfect, and it was actually really tedious to get as much as I did on the PTS right now. So I'm going to leave it like this. It's a little bit less effective than it could be, and those of you who are going to chase perfectly min-max builds, the way to do that is to get marksman rifle damage or assault rifle damage, unless you're using an SMG on your gloves, but for my composition, that's what I would want to get. I really like damage to elites on the gloves. It's a high percentage. Health on kill is good as well, but you could go for critical hit chance and critical hit damage. Both of them are slightly lower than they were in 1.3, but they're still relevant. They're still good stats. Now I'm going to talk about the 2 high ends I have. I have the Operator Pack with Specialized. This is a really important talent, and I like it a great deal because it has 200% of firearms and stamina, which for me is about 8,000. About 8,000 times 2 is 16,000 to skill power. So 16,000 skill power right away to my base level, and that's active all the time. It doesn't rely on being full health. It doesn't rely on, any particular status effect. It is active at all times, and I like it. I think it's pretty valuable. This is an electronics backpack. It has skill power as a major attribute. This is not super geared towards PvP, so this would have to be armor if I was doing that. sacrificing 10,000 skill power is not a big deal. I'm already well up over the cap of diminishing returns. And the reason I theory crafted this build is because the diminishing returns are extremely harsh. And I'm actually well up over the diminishing return area. So what I want to use is mechanisms to get skill power that don't rely on using too much main stat. I've got enough electronics to unlock my gun talents. That's all I really care about. And then outside of that, I'm using some other mechanisms to gain more skill power, such as specialized, such as the talent on my gun, etc., such as the Tactician's bonuses, all those different things working in unison. I have, again, firearms mods on here, and then all of my performance mods, every single one, is support station range at 7%. This can roll higher on different mods. I think these are the lowest level of, prototype performance mods you can get. I think that there are higher rolls. However, you could also choose some other, performance mod that augments the skill of your choice. I am going strictly for a support station. It's going to help my teammates. It's going to help me. It's going to have a wide radius. It's going to heal for a lot every second, especially when I'm proccing all the different bonuses. And in the end, it's a really good support build. Again, that's every single one of my support mods is support station range. Now, the holster that I'm using is steadfast because I'm going to be sitting in cover pretty far back from combat, and I actually need to re-roll this. The major attribute is skill haste right now, and it should be armor. So I'm missing about 20 to 30,000 toughness from my backpack and my holster, which have both not rolled armor in large chunks. And that's important to note. So anybody that's wants to perfectly min-max the build, have more survivability, that is very achievable for you. All you have to do is re-roll the certain key attributes I've listed, such as armor. Now, what Steadfast is going to do for me in the fight is I can shoot, I can support my team, I can put my station down in the relevant location, heal them, and then if I do get damaged, I don't actually have to completely rely on either my support station or my own heal. I can just retreat, get behind cover, twice as fast, my health regeneration will kick in, and then I'll be good to go, much faster in tandem with my support station healing me for a large amount. So I like this holster. I think there's better ones that you could be using. You could swap out easily, put a TAC Authority holster, and then probably use something like the Vigorous chest piece and go with Booster Shot. That'd be a really great addition. You could use the Robust chest piece for increased armor while in cover. It's a lot of different options, and for sure this build can be tweaked for better potential, better efficiency. But now talking about my weapons, this is actually a pretty key part of it. The First Wave M1A is a bad gun. I'm only using this because it's the gun that I found that has the right talents. Now, you should definitely look for something like an SVD or even a bolt-action M44 with these talents, because the M1A has really horrible, it's horrendous reticle bloom. It puffs out way too far, and it's really going to mess with your DPS overall. But this gun that I have, since the reason I am using it is because it has Deadly, Cool-Headed, and Brutal. And as you can see, I've activated all three. Cool-Headed, performing a headshot reduces all skill cooldowns by 5%. Since the cooldown of the support station starts after it's already been destroyed, you're going to need something to decrease your cooldowns and get it back faster. You're also going to want to increase the duration as long as possible with talents like Tech Support. And then my secondary automatic weapon is Destructive, Brutal, and Talented. Now, Talented is the interesting one here. I talked about diminishing returns and why you don't want to spec into electronics all the way. You want to rely on other easier ways to get skill power specifically without wasting your main stats, and that's exactly what Talented does. Now what Talented is going to do for me, if I can mouse over it actually here, killing a target with this weapon increases skill power by 15% for 20 seconds. The effect does not stack, but 15% of 155,000 is great. That's a fantastic amount of skill power. That's actually going to factor out to more than 20,000. Pair that with how many bullets I've landed with a fully automatic high RPM gun like an LVOA, 850 RPM, means I'm going to be landing a lot of bullets, then killing the target, proccing 15% extra skill power just from Talented, then 2% or 0.2% per bullet I've landed. So in the end, I'm actually getting a large percentage of skill power on top of what I already have, which is already high based on Specialized and the high electronics that I have. Not too high, I haven't spec'd into it too far, but I've still got enough main stats to activate all the gun talents, to keep my toughness relevant. I could even get higher on there, as I've discussed before, and then keep skill power tremendously high. So I like this this class. I think all these things synergize extremely well, and it's something that I will be using in the future to help my squad. When no one else wants to run support, I can pull this build out and I can do a bang-up job of doing it. Now, to talk about my skills, because I have support station range, I'm going for the ammo cache support station because it has built-in skill cooldowns. Skill cooldown recovery is faster. And then, you know, they don't consume ammo. Ammo is not really a problem anymore, but this is the key part of ammo cache, the cooldowns. You want to be giving your allies as much cooldown reduction as possible because people are used to spamming their skills. And I predict that when 1.4 hits the live game, there's going to be a huge amount of player frustration with the fact that they can't play like they used to. I, myself included, all of us, myself included, have gotten used to playing with an exploit, essentially, with weaving the heals, multi-procking triage, all that stuff for months now. And now that that's been taken away, it's a different game. It's a different style of play. So this kind of build is going to help your teammates ease into that. It's going to be a really friendly build for, you know, picking up randoms and doing missions and stuff to gear up. So that's another reason why I think it's a really good one to showcase. Then I'm going to be running Booster Shot for myself. You can easily run Overdose if you're solo. You could run Defibrillator if you're really looking to be an unselfish support teammate. In fact, I'll switch over to it right now just to demonstrate. You have really high ally heal, 152,000. That's before you've proc Talented and any Tactician's bonus. You're going to be healing for upwards of almost 200,000 health once you've procced all your bonuses and you're in that spell weaving period of 10 seconds. It's a really effective build, and when you are there hitting for 200,000 health, they go from 0, and with Defibrillator they get revived. They go from down to full health, full overshield in one shot of the heal, and then you're recharging it with Cool Headed on your M1A, and you're able to fire it again, you know, lickety split. So it's a really fun build. It's got a lot of synergizing things. The talents that you want to run, this is the essential one, Tech Support, because it's going to extend the duration of your support station, which is healing for about 5,000 to 6,000 per second before bonuses, and then about 7,000 or 8,000 per second after you've killed the target with Talented and buffed up some of your Tactician's bonus. You can run Chain Reaction. I run this to throw grenades since I'm going to be CCing things and I like to get the extra explosion damage, and grenades are extremely strong now. I run On the Move because it's really easy to kill enemies, especially if they're not like the hardest possible enemies in the game. Everything other than essentially LMG elites melt, like that, so you can just kill one, proc the bonus, and move on. And then I run Strike Back, again, as much cooldown reduction as possible, so I can place that support station down more often, give my allies more cooldown reduction, etc. It all feeds off of itself. You can also easily switch out Chain Reaction for Triage as soon as you're in a composition with teammates, because at that point, you're going to be getting more cooldown reduction from that, and you're going to be able to keep 100%, nearly 100% uptime on whatever you want to. Not quite on the support station, as I'll demonstrate in a second, but about as close as it's possible to come. So I'm going to demonstrate just a little bit of the base mechanics on Lexington. It's not going to be any competitive stuff. I know some people try and call me out like, oh, you only do 2 minutes of gameplay and it's bad. Well, I'm just showing you the mechanics. How a player uses this build after this point is up to them. And in fact, I'm sure a lot of people are going to have better, results from this build because they have better gun skill than me. But as you can see, the radius is large. It's much larger than it would be otherwise. It's not like the typical or the really well-constructed Marco style build from 1.3 where it covered like an entire block. That was a really awesome video. If you haven't already seen it, I would check it out. However, when 1.4 launches, it's not going to be achievable anymore. And this is hopefully going to be a good support build for people to use after that. However, it is a good video, and credit where credit is due. That support station is possibly king of the supports right now. It was really cool to watch when I did see it. So, objective failed. Whoops. Now, anyways, as we go here, I'm going to show you how it functions after you kill an enemy. So, looking at my skill power, I have 155,000. Let me kill one enemy, and we'll see how much it is. Oh, there we go. And once I've killed him, we'll be all set. So now I've killed an enemy, and we have 183,000. All right, and then we're proccing a little bit of our Tactician's bonus. Now imagine stacking on a little bit more tac bonus where you have, I don't know, let's say 20%. Like if you can get up to 20%, that's an additional 20% on top of that. It's a really, really effective build. And when you do get to peak efficiency, you're going to have well over 200,000 skill power. So once I am killing him, that's great. I keep proccing Talented, then I can switch back over. Once I have my M1A out, let's say I fire my heal on the ground. Now my heal is is on cooldown. I can proc Cool Headed frequently on any enemy from far back. I can sit way far back and just keep proccing Cool Headed with my M1A. And in the end, honestly, it's just a really good build. I don't have the best, way to show it. I would need to have a squad of 4, and it would take me a very long time to gather footage. But the theory craft is sound. I think it's an amazing support build, and it hopefully achieves everything that people were looking for it to achieve. It does take some timing. It does take some coordination. You can't just like blindly mash your buttons and have this build be effective. You really have to plan and be effective and hit your shots and all this different stuff. Let's see. So now that my support station is on cooldown, let's do this and we'll bring it off of cooldown. So every time I'm landing a headshot because of cool-headed, I'm decreasing my cooldowns. I'm getting closer to my support station again. And my support station once placed, now I have it. Let's put it down. You can see it heals me for big chunks every second. And while in cover, my health regeneration, my built-in base health regeneration kicks in twice as fast. So right now, my health regeneration starts up twice as fast. Then I'm healing from my support station. Those of you who are extremely brave can definitely start to run a flame turret with this instead of a personal heal or a defib. However, if you're trying to truly support your teammates, defib is the way to go. They will appreciate it, trust me. And again, it's going to help anyone who's not used to 1.4 yet. As soon as the patch launches, get used to it, because they're going to have a really talented support player that has a really good versatile build at their disposal. And as you can see, I'm not sitting back here waiting for someone to kill them. I can kill NPCs. I can kill this does translate into challenge mode. I can kill elite NPCs. If anything, I actually find it's almost easier because of all the extra damage I have to elites, elite NPCs. So this build translates. It's hyper effective. And before I start to ramble on too much longer, I'm actually going to kill this guy and then head out. If you like the build and if you like the channel and you want to support, please check out the links below. Drop a comment of what you'd like to see in the PTS. Drop by the live streams. The Twitch link is in the description below. If you'd like to see more gameplay, there's a lot of things I'm going to be doing. I'm really excited for 1.4. And again, if you want to contact me and maybe request a build or see something specific, just let me know and I'll do my best to incorporate that. As always, guys, thanks for watching and have a nice night.